Hi gamers, mums and dads, this is Cridler Gaming's introduction to Fortnite, the game that seems to be taking over the world at the moment. The gamers, if mums and dads aren't watching, go and get them. I'm sure they'll find this interesting. So what I'm going to do on this introduction is split it into 3 parts. This is just a bit of introduction for mum and dad. Gamers, you can flick to part 2 where we're going to give a real basic introduction to Fortnite. A lot of people know about it already, but for anyone who's new to the game, they'll find it very interesting. And then part 3 will be the more advanced settings. Now there'll be a bit in there for mum and dad about how we can control it, and there'll also be some stuff in the kids that they might actually learn, and you never know, you might find a nice cheat or something interesting in there, so flick on to part 3. So part 1 is Fortnite. So as you can see from the image in the corner of the screen, it has a rating of 12. Now my son is 9 and I'm quite happy to let him play it as long as it's with certain rules. Now the hardware or the game itself is pretty much playable for 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and the main thing for the mum and dad to watch is the use of the squad. Now if you own one of these, so a mic with a headset, and you cannot hear what comes through the headset, then you need to be careful. There is a squad mode on Fortnite where you can play against 3 random people across the world, and if you're using one of these and your child is of youngish and I suppose age where words are not supposed to be used, then this should not be used. That is my advice. So my lad can play it as long as that in squad mode the only people in the squad are his friends and people I know, so I know that the language is going to be appropriate and it's not going to be full of adult themes. So if you get rid of this, I heartily recommend Fortnite to any parent of age, and in fact I'd much rather than be playing Fortnite than some of the other games where it's they are rated as 16 or 18 games. Fortnite is a 12. A lot of games are 12s, as you'll see from the introductions that we're going to do. Some of the 12s are quite laughable. But say if you get rid of this, or you just monitor it and make sure that the friends on their list are appropriate, which you should do anyway, and we're going to do an introduction video into internet safety and how it all works. Just keep an eye on it. And say as long as they're just playing the game and you can listen, because you can hear words through the Xbox when you're playing, as you'll see. You can keep an ear out, and if there's words that aren't supposed to be muttered, you can turn it off, and I can show you how later in part 3. On the advanced settings. So now Fortnite, and a lot of people forget about there's 2 versions of it. The first version is players versus enemies, save the world. Now that to me is the more sort of advanced gaming. It's a game, it's got strategy involved, you collect cards, you put weapons together, and you and your friends, up to 4 per game, take on missions. So we'll be doing a battle royale and a save the world introductory videos. So the main one that we're going to talk about as everybody plays is the battle royale. Now Save the World costs money to play, which I suppose is why it hasn't taken off like the normal battle royale mode, which we'll go into shortly. Now battle royale is free, you can download it now, it doesn't cost a penny, but there are aspects to it to make yourself look cool, have a dance and be trendy, that you can use, and you can spend what's called a V-Buck on the Fortnite version. Now V-Bucks cost money, they're great birthday presents. You can buy what's called a battle pass for about £7 or £8, or the equivalent V-Bucks you can buy, which equate to about £7 or £8, but the prices do change, so do check when you do it. When we go into the second version, I'll show you all the prices, etc. Now Battle Royale, the basics of it, everybody seems to forget this, it's a survival game. There's 100 players and the aim is to survive as long as you can. The kill word is banned in this house, we do not like it. On Fortnite Battle Royale, you don't go around killing them. In fact, you don't actually kill anyone anyway, because all they do is get parachuted back to base, or this little machine comes down, as you'll see, and it takes them back home. So nobody dies, and thankfully, since the first couple of seasons of Fortnite, they have actually removed the K word from most of the text that it is, and now it's elimination, which we much like and enjoy. And if elimination is too long, then hit or get seems to work just as much. So we have Fortnite, we have Players versus Enemies, Save the World, which is a game where you and friends take on what are called husks. We just call it the zombie version. And you have Battle Royale. That is the one that most people play. 100 players. You land on an island. The island technically gets smaller and smaller because of the storm that's called in the game. And eventually you meet in the middle and somebody wins. Is it violent? It was a lot more violent in Season 1 than it is now, in terms of there is a form of elimination where if you don't have a weapon you have a pickaxe, and that pickaxe can look a little bit not very dainty, let's say, as you're attacking someone on the floor with it. And you don't see much of that. And that's probably the worst thing in the game, and I'll get some pictures of it so you can see. The guns fire, there's no blood in the game. It's quite humorous, it's very entertaining. You can play the game and absolutely do nothing and still come right near the top. Now my aim when I play it, because I'm not great at it, it's just to try and get in the top 10. So it's 100 players, if I can get in the top 10 that's great. You know, I can sneak a win now and again, and on the solo mode I've got one on the Xbox and a couple on the phones, and overall I think in the squad mode, which is easier, as you'll see from the different modes coming up, I've got 20 or so wins on the phone and the Xbox. Now what I will show you is on the Xbox, because that's what I own. I've also got an iPhone which you can play Fortnite on. It's also available on PC, just using the mouse, etc., and also on the PlayStation, and I'm sure it's available on most consoles. I mean, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Millions and millions of people play it. I mean, sometimes that many people play it, you can't actually play it yourself. I've never known a game that tells you to wait 30 minutes to actually load, which can be a downside. So this is pretty much the basics. What I'll do now is I'll take you onto the gameplay itself, I'll take you through the screens, and hopefully you can enjoy it. So, part 2, have a look, it's great for basics. If you're unsure, please ask. I mean, I can tell you the ins and outs of it, I'll happily show it as well, but I'm quite confident that as long as the squad mode is turned off, or the chat is turned off, or you turn it off manually by keeping an eye on or taking away the mic and the headphones, then Fortnite is very playable for kids 7, 8 or 9. And even if you haven't seen the game itself, you'll definitely have seen it in the street. You might see the odd kid looking like he's desperate for a wee at a bus stop. And if I embarrass myself in terms of the dance, it looks a bit like this. There we go. And that's one of the dances in Fortnite. Everyone does it at cricket training. Everyone does it at school while they wait. And there's also this one as well, which you can only see partly because of the clip in the corner. But that's the best mates dance now. I've done embarrassing myself, I'll take you through a bit more, but Fortnite's there, it's here to stay. Get your kid playing it. I'd rather the kids play that than some of the Call of Duty or the adults rated battle games. So I hope you've enjoyed this introduction. Ask whatever you need to. I'll take you through now a few basic settings into part 2. Thanks for listening, see you later.